Hey, what's up, guys? Little man with a big opinion here. In today's video, I've got some more numbers for you. This video is based off of a news article that I pulled from Fox Business. Uh, and the information in that article has come from the Energy Information Agency. And it's another sign as a prepper that things are going to keep being harder before they get better. Um, Depending on where you live in the United States, you've probably already turned your heater on. Uh, I've lived in Corpus Christi, which is very, very South Texas. I've lived in Central Texas, and now I live in Northeast Texas. Um, the low for tonight is 47, whereas the low tonight in Corpus is, I think, 71 or 72. But I was looking at the low where my aunt lives, which is, you know, I don't know how far outside of Chicago, but it's a small town up in Illinois, and their low tonight is 31. Uh, so we are definitely in fall. Um, our extremely hot days are behind us, and things are starting to cool off, and we're getting to that point where uh, in some places, maybe it's past that comfortable, enjoyable temperature and it's starting to get pretty cold. And in some places, that enjoyable cold lasts longer than others. And it is a health risk. You know, as a prepper, I know how it feels to be wet and cold when you go to sleep at night. I know how it feels when you can't change your thermostat to a warmer temperature to keep yourself, safe. And the information in this, uh, you know, article release is looking pretty bad. Uh, we see the average number talking about, across the entire board, inflation is at 8.2%. But there are certain aspects of that have only increased 1 or 2%. And then there's things on that list that have increased, double digit percents. Some things have increased 50 plus percent. And when it comes to heating our homes for the winter, uh, you know, it's not looking like we're going to run out of certain sources. It's just going to be exponentially more expensive. Uh, where I live, our heating comes from natural gas. Natural gas prices, you're expecting to pay an average of $930 more this year than you were the year prior, which is a 27% increase. Uh, just electric in general. So typically in the form of coal, but also in the renewable resources of wind and solar, is expected to increase roughly 20%. Uh, Propane was the lowest at 5%, and natural oils was 15 or 16%. Uh, but those can be very alarming numbers. Uh, I don't think most people have planned and prepared for the next 2 to 4 months to be expecting to pay an additional $1,000 roughly uh, to maintain the temperature inside of your home at the same level that you did the year previously. Um, so I'm going to be releasing a video soon talking about alternative heating sources. Some of them are more cost effective than others. But uh, the way we do it in my house, and if you do this way, let me know in the comment section down below. Is we don't really turn our heater on, and the point of that is we enjoy sleeping in the cold. Um, we do have the gear available to us uh, to be comfortable in that scenario. Uh, so my wife, does it by layering. She'll wear a sweater or a hoodie with some sleep pants and pile 4 or 5 blankets on top of her. Leaves her face uncovered, leaves the fan on, and sleeps like a rock. Uh, I typically crawl inside of a sleeping bag because I enjoy camping. When I open the window and put a fan in it and it gets 40, 50 degrees in there, I get some of the best sleep that I've ever gotten. And this is not something new. Uh, I had a loft bed growing up that I had up against the window that my best friend slept on the top bunk, and I slept, on a bed underneath it that I would wrap blankets around to basically form a cocoon. That way my parents' energy bill wasn't going up, but I could open the window and there was easily a 20-degree difference, because my parents kept the house right at about 66, 67. Um, and nights that it gets below freezing, it'd be, 30 and 40 in there. Uh, and so it's something I've been doing since I was about 14, maybe 13. So I've got about a decade of doing this, and I enjoy it heavily. Typically, and growing up, we had a trampoline. Typically, the first time it'd get below freezing, I would lay a tarp down on our trampoline and lay a couple blankets down and crawl inside of a sleeping bag and just sleep out there. That's the easiest way. Now, we do put a space heater in one of our bedrooms, uh, and we keep the cats in there for the most part, just because we don't want them to be uncomfortable and miserable. And our dogs are typically outside dogs, and we try to run the dryer the night before. And the lowest it's gotten in there was about 58, 59. Uh, and then they've got their bedding and their fur and stuff. So the easiest way to keep warm is layer up. Have the equipment to just write it out. The second way, if your home has it, I'm in my grandparents' house right now. We have our fireplace. They've got their fireplace. And my grandpa just recently cleaned it out. Uh, they've gotten ready to get this going. And about half of his stack of firewood is down dead wood that he's picked up at his farm, and when people clean up their yard, he picks that stuff up all year long. And the other half was a pecan tree that I went and picked up. Uh, I was able to get it for free because the people were cutting the tree down, and they were just going to put it on their burn pile and get rid of it then. But I took the time out of my day to do that. And so at the bare minimum, this room, we could section it off again with these exposed rafters. and keep this room fairly well heated. Um, I guess the third option is you're going to do nothing and you have to deal with your increased um, heating and electric bill. But I'll show y'all other methods in another video. Uh, one of the methods is extremely cheap and it produces a fair amount of heat. But the main point of this video is informing y'all on what winter this year is looking like. I talked previously about what this winter is going to look like in Europe, and from my standpoint, just my opinion, uh, it seems like we're going to be much better off than what Europe is. And I can feel for them, and for some reason, my channel, I get my most views from people in Finland. So I got a lot of Europeans watching this stuff. Be safe. Uh, Depending on where you're at, you still have some time to get prepared. And if you're watching this, then I think you have realized that you should be prepared when it comes to some of these things. And that's the first step in becoming a prepper, using a little bit of common sense. So if you are watching this video and you enjoy it, leave a like. It lets me know that I'm, doing something right. If you enjoy what I'm doing with my channel in general, then hit that subscribe button. And lastly, if you have a friend or family member that would benefit from the discussions that we have in these videos, then go ahead and share a link to this video with that friend or family member. And with that, catch you in the next one.